You are watching the biggest and the largest African spiritual platform. We are the hottest. We are the greatest. We are the tallest. We are the mother of all spiritual platform. My name is Queen Hadasha. Call me Empress Makida. You can call me Nadromo Ofenu. Call me Jezebel. Call me anything you like. Oh, I respond jeje to it. I welcome you to the greatest show ever in Africa, and I say in the world. My pals, I welcome you. Sunday happens to be the first day our platform way, so we are consciousness family. The individuals are called the pals. You can have your peace with us in 6 weeks. So take your balance as we are taking our balance. I welcome you. Let's welcome our brother. We have one of our brothers on set who is going to talk about getting to know the Caucasian and his mindset. We know the minimum how it's going to go. But I know it's going to be late. It's going to be great as usual. I welcome you. Let's welcome our guest. Nanaka, we welcome you.
Maame Grace, me Joso. Thank you.
Yo, Edinburgh Revelations. And then our first time.
First time.
Me pese ube chia the followers no na we introduce you ho actually omo na we chia we love one so and sana ya bankomo so.
Okay. Like you said, my name is Nanaka. I want to greet all Maame Grace's followers, all the watchers of Revelations. You guys are the best. Please like, subscribe, share, and spread the good news. I want to big up Abigail Mills. I want to big up Anais ACKAH, my daughter, and Abigail, my wife. I want to big up the Mills, the family, and my family here in Ghana.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Yo, Abusia. Yeah, guess let me say this. My friend said one God here Revelations and Crawford said me mama can brofu. And brofu ne limiti na busia. Me nchiro obi akasa onko me po bi beka brofu ana yesa me nya fasting because mo amunim adani mu 7. Yesa 3 no so krampo me nka ne ye me yefim. Ti brofu na akafo na me manage nti obi aba show yi so a onye limited with any language or the obi apeno. And no, now okay, I want to make this straight for all of us to know. So Nanaka, are you an African? Are you a Ghanaian?
I am a Ghanaian, yes.
Great. So when they say Africa, we'll come to your topic, but these are my randoms. When they say Africa as a continent, and when they say Africans, what is African continent and who is an African?
That's a really good question. So the way I'm going to explain it is Africans are melanated people, people who respond to the sun with a certain type of pigmentation. So we absorb sunlight and we don't die from it. We get darker, we get better, we get information from the sun. So I would say those are Africans, so darker skinned people. The continent Africa, unfortunately, has a bad name in the world. For some people, it means poverty, it means lack of stuff, it means scarcity, which I'm here to explain. But that is all propaganda. And it's propaganda by our neighbors, our European neighbors. Yes.
This is but adan ewiane ebi mu tenase omu ana wo se yan ye tenase enkuyen hwan mu no mu tenase omu wu
me pacho ebi wo ho omu wo allergy ewiane omu ye allergic to the sun. Yes. Say it's like they didn't evolve with the sun. They came out of caves. It's a skin condition. So when they are exposed to sunlight, they behave like vampires. They swell up, they vomit, they get sick, some can die in extreme conditions. So yeah, these are Caucasians, white people. Yes.
Okay, so this one that you are saying this, that they did not revolve from the sun.
Yes.
That's why they get all these allergies and reactions
Yes.
from the sun. We also didn't revolve from their weather.
Exactly.
So when we also go there or stay there, does it have any bad influence like they turning into vampires? Do we also turn into hyenas?
We turn into mentally ill people.
Huh?
Yes, it's the truth. So there is a condition when black people are exposed to poor sunlight or long periods of time without sunlight, they have vitamin D deficiency. So vitamin D is the vitamin that regulates mental processes, health in our teeth, health in our bones, and our primary source is the sun. So when we go for prolonged periods of time without the sun, we start having a problem. And you can see how some of them think when they're over there and when they come down here. So that is the main cause. Then we'll go into the certain types of mental illness. You have chronic fatigue syndrome, you have exhaustion, you have schizophrenia,
knee problems, back problems, spinal dodondom.
Exactly, yes.
You are watching The Biggest. This is a straightforward answer. But this is for we the people, Africans.
Yes.
That's what you've defined. Now let's get into the name Africa, the continent itself. You say when they say Africa, they see poverty, lack of what have you.
Yeah.
Why is it so?
It's as a result of propaganda. News channels, CNN, BBC, ABC News, politics, celebrity news, entertainment. We have been given the name Africa and associated Africa with poverty because it creates a mind trick that works for them. When you come to Africa, for those who have been lucky enough to come, you don't see any scarcity. There's fruit trees that grow all over the place. There's goats, chickens, fowls, birds that are running free. Nobody hunts them down to kill them. These are running free around the capital, around the secondary cities. So there is no scarcity in Africa.
You said something.
Pardon me.
That the animals are running free.
Yes.
Without what? This one I beg to differ.
Without owners.
Ah.
Yeah.
This one I'm getting confused here right now.
Tell me.
Because I travel all over this planet.
Okay.
And I see London, Ochi to me bonona. Who se ka abodo no da kra babo na tasu say, "Yay! Now make academ." So what are you saying right now?
So that must have been countryside. You must have been traveling in the countryside because if you go in the cities, in London where I live, the only thing that you see, the wildest thing you see is foxes. They come out at night, they come out in the day, they scavenge in the bins and so forth.
London where you kraman was from Jeche ni pay. Ghana ni pen. I would say Ghana. Where do you live in Ghana, please?
I live in Tema.
Tema.
Yes, here in Tema.
Na Tema I'm one and I'm half three, sir.
Oh, but
if your dog, one of my dogs got out of the house and he shouldn't.
Really?
Yes.
And somebody has eaten it. Some light soup. Some light soup situation.
And so why are you now telling me that the I'm not saying we lack.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that, but for the animal part in the party, then microphone you and cry I lock you microphone you and I'm not was seeing him cry the poison could go and so him no way in so that part party. I don't want to say I disagree. Where did you get that one from?
So I've been living in Africa for 3 months now consistently. I've been coming for holidays in and out. Every time I come, if I'm crossing the roads, there's some chicken doing his business. There's some goats and chickens. That's what I've noticed most of all, right?
Temaha.
Yes.
Goat and chicken.
Gulf City.
How do you goat?
Gulf City.
You are watching The Biggest. Okay, so what do you think Africa is lacking to make sure that all that it has, it cannot use it to change that propaganda, the name that these Caucasians have given it? Because you know we don't lack anything. We have the bestest in Africa. So what is our problem?
The mindset. Yes. we have inherited a scarcity mindset. Before I go into the topic, I'd like to tell a story. The story is about the Trojan horse. So in about 300 BC, before the Common Era, before Christ, there was a big war. I'm going to say it colloquially. There was a big war between Greece and Troy because Paris, and not Paris the city, but Paris, an individual in Troy, he went and kidnapped Helen, the daughter of a Spartan king, so of a Greek king. He took her to his city in Troy, and Troy was known to have big walls, massive, massive big walls that you couldn't penetrate. You couldn't beat down the walls, nothing could happen. So for over 10 years, the Greeks were fighting with the Trojans, fighting. They couldn't do anything. Once the Trojans go in their walls, nothing. You can't get in. So the Greeks said, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? What are we going to do? Okay. So they planned, and they left a massive giant horse in front of the gates of the city of Troy, and then they pretended to leave on their boat at night. So in the morning, when the Trojans saw the horse, they said, this must be a gift from the gods, because the chief god of the Trojans was Apollo. Apollo rides on a horse. So they said, this is a marvelous thing. This is wonderful. Oh my God, look at this. And so they arranged to bring in the horse.
I've watched that movie.
You see it, huh? Okay. So they brought in the horse, and they were celebrating and everything. And at night, we all know what happened.
The people got out and
they got out, and then they opened the gates for their comrades to come in. This is where the concept of the Trojan horse comes into common language. You trick people with something they know, so that when they eat it, then you can do with them exactly what you want. I would say the Trojan horse, one of the biggest Trojan horses that Africans have had is Christianity and Islam religion.
Yes. Sorry.
Oh, is these two. These are the biggest Trojan horses. And and the best way to see why these are Trojan horses is because when the missionaries came, after colonialism came, the soldiers came. So it's like there was a long war. A lot of people are not aware of this. There was a long war between the black world and the Caucasian world. And this war was ongoing, and everybody stayed in their own places. They understood, look, further than the Sahara, you can't go because the Nubians are there. And we knew that, look, further than maybe the Sahara into the North Africa, Europe, we can't go because the whites are there.
That's Africa there.
But they had to use a Trojan horse to penetrate our defenses. And this Trojan horse is the good news, the gospel, is the salvation, and we lost. That's it. That's how they got in, and then they were able to have access to the best of us. And today they've given us their mindset, and now they are taking our mindset. Exactly. Yes. Yes.
How is there any you are watching the biggest and the largest African spiritual platform. Hey, Caucasian horse religion.
Yes.
Charlie,
it's a Trojan horse.
Trojan horse. So I mean Trojan horse, so better Caucasian horse, because some have a mindset that we have them as a
is one and the same.
Do you think Africa will be great again? Do you think give me three structures and kawo opportunity will be infused into the system to bring a great change and a faster one?
I was going to save this for last, but since you asked me now, I'm going to give them to you. So financial, educational, and political.
How?
Financial, we need to abandon the white power structure.
Which is?
Which is central banking. We never evolved around central banking. What we know is susu, ajo. That's what we know. Ajo is Yoruba. Education, we've never really had a paper type of education. You learn from experience. You have rites of passage. You orally. So you would have a mentor, like somebody will come to Maame Grace, the Maame Grace will sit down here, and then what you see me do, if you're a visual learner, what you see me do, you do. That's the educational system we need to correct. Politics in itself means to trick. It's politricks, right? You say what the people want to hear, but you do what you want to do. So we need to bring back a system where we don't need different parties. Why do we need a different party? If you're doing good, if something is really good, if a religion is really good,
why do I have to change it?
Yeah, if we're all serving the same God, why do we need different denominations? There you go. We need different political parties. We need the NPP, we need the NDC, we need this one, we need this individual candidate, we need the Democratic Christians, we need this and that, because we are all deceiving ourselves. That's just the truth. Yes. So these are just the first three. There is more, but I trust we'll have time for that.
We have time. Now, you question. You have time. Now, you are watching the biggest and largest. And easy.
It's never easy. But it's time. It's time for Africa.
Now, when you say for
that's another problem. He knows there are no consequences. Yeah. He knows there are no consequences.
School na some dey serious so.
Yeah.
Me ba no ho fe pa, but for go school ba de bia na me be ya yuyo. Akole so no ho fe. Naturally nya me sheda born.
That's good.
School so okomo kwa frustration ni do so. That's where they go and pick all kinds of, especially the secondary school, no more pick all kinds of characteristics. Hey, enye easy. Na wan ko school so be dan ka bro futu we bro for awoka.
I was born there, so I was unlucky and lucky at the same time to be born there. But I'm back home, so yeah.
What better now?
Yes.
How do you, you've been there and now you are here. My last question, then we'll get into your topic.
Okay.
What exactly do you think we should pick from them? What exactly, be honest, what exactly do you think we should pick from them? I would say their system. I would say their system. Because obi en to me nkoton asase ma wo. No asan akoton am obi. No we wia usika no on nam ho free. That one, be honest. You can't go and take anything from anybody. You hear You can't give birth to a child and say won't take care of the child. They will pick you up. So what do you think we should pick from them and add it to our whatever name they've given us?
So before I answer your question, I will say there is nothing new under the sun. They also learned a lot of things from us.
That's why I'm saying, what do you think we should learn from them, in addition to our brohaha?
So first of all, I would say the work ethic. We need to develop a different work ethic. But then again, we can't just look at them and say, oh wow, this is what they do, we should do the same thing here. We need to develop a system that is African and works for the African. An African cannot work 8 hours a day under the sun. This is a completely different weather. And you can't possibly tell an African, maybe you need to be their sole provider and the sole parent for your kids, because we know it takes a village to raise a human being.
African need to be working 8 hours.
Oh, no.
Do you know how many hours people are working here?
But do you see any improvement?
That's what I'm asking you.
There you go.
What do you think? In London, that's where you live. 5 o'clock, 5:30, shop will be closed. Police will come and pick you.
That's not accurate. Maybe outside London. London is 24/7.
but they run shift. Onipa baako ntinemu from Anamebwa.
There you go.
They are particular about time, closing time and all that.
Yes.
I had here, obi ye jumano 24:10. On close you.
Yes.
So that what I'm saying is, at the papa be what's now, and what's now. Oh, can also luckily and unluckily means bibi papa woho.
Yes.
Na me cho said then papa now for say yen found free one back here the young. That's what I'm asking.
Work ethic.
Which is
we need to solve our immediate problems.
Which is
our immediate problem is our mindset. Secondary problem is our relationship to our environment. And thirdly is a relationship to our own people.
Obaye no e de be mpa no wehu wo ha no ma wo hwe ye a bigger headache for you a wunya anka wo be change wo individual bia brabum.
The black tax.
The what?
Black tax.
Which is
the black tax is a common tax that every black person pays when he goes to visit his uncles, his aunties, his friends, his family, the classmates, the schoolmates he left, and
you have to give something and that's how
something small. It's a black tax. I don't like paying taxes.
Not to think of this one.
Imagine
that you don't know why you are paying.
I don't like paying white people's taxes. Imagine paying black people's taxes.
It's too serious.
It's impoverishing ourselves. It's making us ridiculous. It's not making us progress, and it's backwards. You understand? We celebrate death rather than life. Yeah.
You are watching the biggest so and they want to show what a black tax. Uncles ni be hard you honestly obi bese sisters ni be can disturb. They can call you to about 3,000 times. So baba experiences are there.
Oh, my phone even I have to switch it off so that I can do the interview in peace.
And that's how problems upon problems.
Headache.
As if they've worked for you.
You understand? You see it. It's a tax. It's a tax. Yeah.
You are watching the biggest. So let's get into his topic. You are watching Revelations with Maame Grace and Nana ACKAH, and we are discussing getting to know the Caucasian and his mindset. Into his mindset there, we would also talk about our mindset and the differences a womb and what is causing each and every one of us and how to restructure. Yeah, no. Said the beya emu be hye na etumi aye adwuma. Se fe no wa join e fe ne get into the topic. Nti brother, take us through what makes you feel they have a different mindset, we have a different mindset. If yes, what caused that?
Before I go into it, I'm going to tell another story.
Go ahead.
More than a story, it's an experiment. So there's a laboratory. I'm going to modify it to make it African. Right. There is a laboratory in Ashaman, and they took 3 monkeys. Initially, they took 2 monkeys, and I'll explain. So they took 2 monkeys, put them in a cage. They put a ladder inside the cage, and on top of the cage, they put some bananas. It's very random that I'm using monkeys and Ashaman, but this is what happened. So when the 2 monkeys went into the cage, they locked the gate and they observed them. What they noticed is one monkey, he saw the bananas on top of the stairs. Speed. He went up the stairs, chops one banana, starts eating. But now the purpose of the experiment is that anytime one of the monkeys goes up the stairs, they are going to throw cold, chilled water on the one that stays down. They're going to spray them with water, which is not
up there.
No, which is frustrating. They don't like it, you know, making their life hard. So they don't like it. So what happens is, when the monkey comes back down, the monkey that got sprayed, they connected it to, oh, if this one goes up, they spray me. So when it comes back down, they fight. They beat up themselves. So they understood, no, then maybe the problem is going up the stairs.
They were trying to make the down one thing that it's the fellow monkey that is pouring the water.
Yeah, kind of. Let's say kind of. So the monkeys understood that no, we have to take food from the laggards, the one the laggards give us, not the one on top of the stairs. So Then they went to Techimine and they took another monkey from there and they brought it to a shaman and they put it inside the cage. Now, as soon as this monkey saw the bananas on top of the stairs, he's trying to run, and those two monkeys from a shaman, they held him and they said, don't try. And it's, you know, he's like, what do you mean? It's food.
Oh, but my
So they beat him mercilessly. Yes. That's the only way you can let him
down.
If you don't hear, you will feel. So they beat him, and in fact, he learns his lesson. And he says, no, then Techiman understood that, no, you don't go, we take what they give us. So then the land guards say, look, let's take the first two monkeys out of the cage and let's bring another one from Takrady and let's see what happens. So you have the Techiman
and the new one
from Takrady.
He also beat him.
Yes. He did. The minute he came in, when he saw the thing, he said, don't even try. Gave him 2 slaps, a knock on the head.
Sit down.
He relaxed.
Hey, Ghana problem now I can see.
But the purpose of this experiment is to let us understand that the Techimine monkey, he never even got a drop of cold shower. He didn't even see.
He didn't even know why they were beating him.
That's it. And so on. And they tried different. They brought one from Bono. They brought one from Tamale.
But now inherited
That's it. Everybody knows the system. You don't go on top of the stairs. You don't eat those bananas. They are just for decoration. We eat the one they give us. I go into my topic right now. So the Caucasian, who is originally a white man that has just lost his pigmentation, evolved in a hostile environment. The Caucasian environment, so we'll say the Caucasus is that region of Moldavia, Ukraine, Russia. So this man kind of evolved there during the Ice Age. So during the Ice Age, for about 100,000 years, he was in caves. Cannot go out. Every time he comes out, is ice. Nothing grows, no livestock, nothing. Life is hard. If you think life in Tema is hard, imagine you step out of the house, it's minus 30 degrees. For 6 to 8 months, you haven't seen a blade of grass. Not even kontomre, you see some kakapim-pim, nothing. It's just snow, ice. You eat anything that happens. Rats, foxes, predators, because that's what you can find. Now, how does this affect your brain after hundreds of thousands of years? It makes you develop a scarcity mindset. So you have to manage. You become a micromanager. You have to manage what you have. So the cave, where you live, your house, is mine. Anybody who comes outside that doesn't belong to this household,
food.
That's it. You're either food or you're a threat. You die. Now, what happens when you don't find food? You have to go out and hunt. But you're not just hunting because there is plenty. You're going to somebody else's house. You're going to kill the man. You're going to take his woman. You're going to take his kids as slaves. And you're going to take his food. And you're going to take his cave in case anything happens to your cave. 2. How do you regulate your lifestyle, your work life? Your work life, you have 2 months, or you have maximum at least 3 months in the year, in 12 months, where you get a bit of sunshine, the snow melts, the ground is fertile enough for you to sow and do everything. So you can't even say, oh, I'm tired of working today, I'll continue tomorrow. There is no time. Ebi niho. So you have to know your cycles. There are 24 hours a day. You need to do 3 shifts of 8 hours. That's where we get our 8-hour work week. So the son, he will do 8 hours. You come and do 8 hours. The dad will complete the the rest of the 8 hours, because we need to go non-stop. We need to till the ground, we need to do this, we need to protect it from invaders. You create a scarcity mindset, you develop a scarcity mindset, and you live in a scarcity mindset. So what happens when, at the end of the Younger Dryas, this is at the end of the Ice Age, the last Ice Age, the snows finally melt, and the Caucasian, the caveman, now starts coming down from these northern countries, and he starts going into the Mediterranean, he starts going into the Indus Valley, he starts going into the rice fields, and he sees all this abundance. He sees fields of rice, fields of contomere, he sees mango trees, fruit trees, women of all shapes and sweetness and lightness, and everybody is basically living a very leisure life when he has had to live hundreds of years in misery. Yes, it's payback. You're going to pay for something that you don't even, you know, you were just born in abundance. So what he comes and do is he imprisons you, takes you as a slave, takes your resources, because in his mind, he cannot conceive of there is enough for everybody. In his mind, there is going to come a time, winter, the predators, my enemies will come and take it. So I need to, he's always, I need to protect it, I need to protect it, I need to protect it. So a good example is when the Caucasians came to Africa and they wanted our land, and they brought contracts for us to sign, saying from here to here to here to here is for me. So sign here. And our ancestors laughed, because to us we said, hey, Abrofupa, this is there's so much. How much can you take? How much gold can you dig? How much food can you eat?
Oh,
because we've never known scarcity. There's never been winter in Africa. But through his systems, through micromanagement, he's been able to take it off our feet and then cut us off that abundance. That's basically the truth of it. So cut the one that has access to it and now put yourself in it. That's how he evolved. This is neither good nor bad. This is a survival mechanism. He needs to survive. And self-preservation comes before anything else, even before women. So this is also one of the reasons why in the Caucasian world, in the West, the divine feminine is in prison. Women are not held on the pedestal as men, because a woman would get pregnant 9 months out of 12 years, she cannot work. She needs to take care of the pregnancy. That is why then the man becomes the most important figure. Patriarchy becomes the most important figure in this world, because we need people to fight, we need people to work, we need people who are strong, we need people who can even go and rape other tribes. A woman is not going to do that because she doesn't have the testosterone that will push her to do these things. So coming back into now us getting into contact with this Caucasian, with this human being, it means that he is about to take everything we own, even our very lives. He doesn't care, because it's him before us. In his world, if he doesn't do that, he will die. He needs to preserve
and nobody
himself.
wants to die.
There you go. His conception of death is very different to our conception of death. What he thinks of the afterlife is probably what Africa would have looked like back in the day. What we today think heaven is, New York, London, Rome, Paris, that is what he thought of Africa. There is a Arab merchant, don't quote me wrong, don't quote me for it, but his name is something around Ibn Hassin, something like that. And he said, if you want to cure yourself from poverty, so he's giving a fatwa to the Arabs in around the Mecca the Arabian Peninsula. He said, if you want to cure yourself from poverty, make a trip to the Nubia, to Africa. Because gold is abundant, food is abundant, women are abundant, the people are abundant.
Everything I am making life.
There you go.
It's abundant in Africa.
There you go. So that is basically, and when we say Caucasian, we're not just talking about the European, because we also understand that when he came out of the mountains, he now started mixing with all the races that he found. So when he went to India, you have the Aryans in India, the Persians, the white Chinese, you have the European, you have the white North American, what today will be called an Indian, but they are different nations, different tribes, the Sioux, the Apache, and etc. And from then, he has to oppress the one that is melanated, because he needs to create his system.
So it's wrong. Almost wrong. That's the thing.
It's survival. He needs to survive.
Because nimsa wona oya wo dia or eliminate our generation our freedom.
There you go. Yeah, yeah. So he needs to create. Now, how is he going to dominate the ones that when they wake up, there's a mango tree here, there's a goat just crossing the road, everything is in front of him. He has different gods for every day of the week. He has different women for every month of the year. He can take advantage from a numerous village. How do you block this person? How do you need to give him a scarcity mindset. And how do you come about that? First of all, you need to target his mind. The mind is everything. You need to target his environment. Once you target his mind, you need to target his environment so that he sees his own environment as hostile. You need to target his education so that he sees his education as useless. And now he comes and borrow from you. He comes and take from you. He only depends on you. The monetary system that we have, money. And we'll go into this topic if, God willing, I get a second invitation. But the money system we are using today, as much as people will tell you, and you talk to people who say, in the white world, there's somebody in his office like this that switches on a printer and it will print out the money. That's all he has to do. It's a switch, a plug. Whereas we here, we think it comes from God. A lot of us on this continent, we don't understand it. We don't understand that it's a fractal banking system. That means what we see is, oh, when I go to the bank, when I do my mobile money, they give me cash. That's what I need to eat. No, it's a means to an end. You don't need the money. What you need is food. You need shelter. You need company. As a means to get to these things, you need the paper. But this is a contract that we have between ourselves. This is also one of the things that white people had to make sure they interrupt, because we were using cowries, so seashells. We're using maybe some gold from the land. We're not doing
anything foreign.
There you go. Or we were doing even barter. So I give you yams, you give me cassava.
I wait for you, you give me what I want.
There you go. Then you go, you jump the middleman, you go straight to what you need, right? So understanding the monetary system is what will open a lot of our mindset, because we've been made to believe that all we need is money. No, we don't. As a matter of fact, we don't, but it will sound absurd to some people saying,
because all the things you mentioned, it is money
you understand. But this is because the system has been subverted from so long ago. The example of the monkeys, we think this is how it is. You understand? So it's going to take more than we can even understand to change this. Yes, it's going to. Yes.
Give me your first 3 steps.
Right. So, like I introduced the financial system, we have to use a SUSU system. Now,
I told you they ran away with it, once.
We will come to that. We'll come to the means to make them trustworthy. So now, all of us know how SUSU works. So if you have an individual that, let's say, he says, look, every 3 months, I need a certain amount of money. Let's talk about money today because that's what we have. That's what is relatable to people. After every 3 months, after every month, after every week, this is the amount of money I need. Then you join the company of SUSU, of AJO, that is doing that rotation with that frequency, right? So there are different tiers, there are different levels. So a B almost started from let's say 1,000
teacher for no
CDs.
mutai binum no mutai yes teacher for nurse for mo ye adwuma wo this organization so mo jeje anom de amani pa baako omo jeje anom de amani pa baako e bedro nipa baako so ono
then he disappears. That he's not trustworthy. Okay, we'll come to the ways to make them trustworthy. So with this system, you would have to know yourself to know what are your cycles. If every day you need food and you need it every week in this certain way, you join this cycle. There will be, I don't know, a SUSU program that is paying every week, every month, every 5 months, every 6 months, every year, according to the price, you know, that you...
Of nyama uhia.
Exactly. So you join it. That would solve a lot of people from even paying the black tax. Because udruha, you come here and you're like, hey, some people don't even know when next they're going to have money. Some people, they don't know when next they're going to eat.
But don't you
truth.
think it's all about the system? This SUSU thing you are talking about.
Yeah.
You've been out there.
Yeah.
People have credit cards.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you even buy TV, insurance,
You
if
pay
you
small,
have small, and you know all this.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if instead of doing SUSU that with individual people, since we have a system that governs us as Africans,
yes.
Don't you think these are things that we need to add into our system to have? Ukojilo just order papa we grandfather ne pinia ne umbilical cord niama ye be bisa osef abrano and the even interest on it. Do you know people are living out there? They take loans for their relative in Ghana to work with because payment and interest rate is very easy. Don't you think these are things that we have to ask our leaders to do for us? Because even when a government organization gives you contract, they don't give mobilizations. Don't you think these are systems that we need to introduce or cry or scream about instead of doing the SUSU? Because the SUSU, if you don't get, how do you do the ajo?
So that's a really good question. And credit is a debt trap. Yes, credit is a debt trap. And the word credit comes from the Latin, which translates to credito, as in I believe in you. It's SUSU, but they have another thing that they use to cover up a lot of things is language. We don't have the time to, you know,
investigate the words.
We're just I need credit.
We're just using them.
Credit literally means credito. I trust you. I trust you, so I'm going to give you credit. I trust you, so what you're coming to take, you can take it. I know you pay for it or you take care of it. So that's the meaning of credit. Now, the system of credit we have, the truth, we have to say it. In the West, there's a credit score, right? And the credit score is directly related to how much debt you have. So if you have never taken out a credit card, you've never taken out a contract, you've never paid for anything on a monthly basis, when you go and take out credit, you have a bad credit because you have no history. So for you to take credit, you need to go in debt. You need to go to the bank. You need to, the easiest step is taking out a phone contract. So a phone that maybe is, let's see the numbers. A phone that maybe is 2,000 Ghana cedis, they'll sell it to you for 10,000 Ghana cedis, and they'll say, okay, then every month you pay 500 Ghana cedis.
We are doing it, yes.
That's it. That's credit. Yeah, that's credit. So with that, that's how you start getting your credit score.
You get what you want, but you suffer for the rest of your life.
So let's just focus on the credit score. So the credit score now is an agency that nobody has voted for, nobody is aware of, that secretly says we'll be in communication with the person you bought the phone from, and every month this person will call them and say, yes, this month he has paid. This month he has paid, so put the score, let's say the maximum score is 900. It's okay, you start with 700. Every month I'll check if, okay, you are, every 6 months, then I'll put it at 10 points. You are getting to reach 900. And this score will be available to everybody to know this one is a good debtor. So when he takes the debts, he will pay back. So what happens, credit agencies will have access to your credit score, and then they will send you loan offers. So you would think,
slave.
You would, what the individual thinks is, look at God's blessing. They are sending me loan application. What they are sending you is shackles in the form of paper. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It will give you a temporary peace. But at the end of the day,
it will compound. It will add up.
It's not even a good name.
That's it.
I know people who are going to die and leave this kind of debt as inheritance for their children.
There you go.
But I'm trying to narrow this conversation down, because said yebe to me abo ya brabo and kakra wa habia. I tell people that when you go to Ashama, you've been calling Ashama, so let me use Ashama.
I love that place. Big up Ashama.
When you go to Ashama and you buy polo, Ashama polo, it's nicer, it's crispy, it's cheap.
Yeah.
There. But you move to, where do I say, one of these Accra places and go and buy this same polo from a restaurant, and yet there. Now so ne bo omudi abto so any said your matchire no, and that is where we want to say we bought it from here.
Yeah.
Okay. So what I'm saying is that though when you come down, you realize ye need condition bimu. But the people who are vibrating and shouting, ma ye who say ye were condition bimu a omo endorse those who place that thing in our head. Ultimately, say, because when you travel to Cape Coast and you go to those villages and nyama wo beto ne ade now no ya stretch sa or how no de akwa kodru villages no. So we don't have easy life anymore. Because the one in the village, my mother, who is so old that he cannot walk, is also paying e-levy, because when you send him her momo, she's also paying e-levy.
There's a tax on it.
Yes. So this thing has stretched to that place. Into
Yes.
Into though the debt is not a good thing, but there are people and also to me say there are conditions you find yourself in, instead of going to individual for this loan with 20 to obi crocodile loan 20% interest. So to say,
that's usury. It's called usury.
Yeah. So there are things, a place where somebody says you go and go, or how much is I make say buy back a whole car like 400,000, they will take it 400,000 in 3 months. The interest is 20%. 20%, and in 3 months, if you are not able to pay the whole money with the interest, the car that is 400,000 or 500,000, they will have given you 100,000. They've taken the car. These things are happening, and people are in conditions as Ghanaians. So I'm not saying said debt is okay, but I am saying that the leaders can actually make some holes that will make things a bit easy for young mobile money buy no ebi edge men send me sika ne nkwa ha o send kwa ha because obwa wadi loan on person obetia. So this is our condition. What do you think we can do? Let's come down and let's be honest. Out there, when you are renting a house, you pay monthly.
Yes.
Here you have to pay 2 years.
Yes.
Somehow I feel though some people has done something to our hairs. I feel we have also grown, allow some bacterium to grow in us that has become a monster that we are eating ourselves. So you can't actually blame your oppressor for everything. Yeah. Sometimes we have to look at our own, behaviors and our mindsets too. So what do you think we can do about this?
So I think you put it very nicely, right? So that our viewers can understand that the Caucasian mindset does not work in the black world. That's why then when you're doing your credit, your interest is so high, because it's not compatible. It's like you're putting a cassette where a DVD has to go. It doesn't work. These systems do not work in the black world. It's not just in Africa. The same thing everywhere black people proliferate. These things, they don't work for us. So what is the solution? The solution in little terms, according to my understanding, is a different type of credit score. Something very similar to what happens in China, where you are given a score based on your lifestyle, how you behave to your environment. So if I know that, Maame Grace, we're in China now, and the highest score is 900. And 900 means you don't throw a sachet, pure water sachet on the floor. When you're crossing the road, you're not doing menace. You're not loitering, or you're not involved in any. You are a good human being. You help people. You do this. You do that. That would enable me to make you trustworthy. So you have, I've forgotten the social credit score. In China, it's called the social credit score. That's what we need in Ghana. We don't need a credit score. We need a social credit score.
Score, yeah.
That's the language. So you are a good human being, just like and I wanted to go through it. I had prepared it in a certain way in my head, but I like the way you've made it so I can anticipate things. We are actually in a point of time where we're going back to our system, the black man's system. Some people cannot see it, and it's very hard to also wrap the mind around it. But if you think about a social credit score, just one example, we're going to see technology and all of these things, politics. But if you see a social credit score, it was the same thing that used to be done back in the day, when people would say, oh, this person, he knows he doesn't have to cheat. He doesn't have to take somebody's things. You can sleep with the door open. There was a morally high society. That's the same thing. We are going back to that system. We are slowly going back to that system. And this was because we had a belief system that was different. So maybe there was a reward and punishment directly correlated to our belief system. It's the same thing with the social credit score. So if you're a good human being, you believe you're going to get a good score. With a good score, you would have access to cheaper products, more discounts, good stuff, susu. Maybe we already know that your social credit is bad, and you want to enter the susu. We say no. We know.
Is that thing possible in
Ghana?
Let's say Ghana.
It's very possible in Ghana. Yeah, everybody has a Ghana card. Associate that Ghana card to a score. Everybody starts with 500, right? You do some trouble, we take 100 points according to the trouble you do. So maybe when you are selling stuff, instead of 20 CD, you make 100 CDs. Everybody here reports that seller. The credit agency, oh, that's how you do it.
Oh, I'm not saying anything, no.
All of us will report that seller, that particular seller, that market store, to the credit agency. And there will be an agent. Say the Baumia has made it that the ID, the Ghana card we have, is all going somewhere. If you do something, all that information is gathered at some database.
Who said
somewhere.
that?
Oh, it's common knowledge.
No, you said Baumia said that.
Yeah, Baumia, yeah. It's common knowledge that Baumia, that he's the one who brought it, isn't it?
I don't even know.
Yeah, it's Baumia. So he's digitalizing the country. So that's it, easy. What's you have like a badge number. That badge number is connected to your card. We take that badge number, we report you. We take 100 scores back. You can't have a store there anymore. It will incentivize other people to go correct.
God help us.
Amen.
To
Inshallah.
do this. God help us to do this.
Inshallah.
So you said maybe because now no yabe ye honest because of our belief system near the other because before no punishment ni ade. Do you think we should go back to our belief system, the past one? People keep saying we should go back, we should go back. What's your take on that? Let that be your last words.
There are different levels of interpretation. The belief system that we had at the time served the purpose that is served at that time. If you come and tell me today I have to go and bath in goat's blood and do some, I know you are talking nonsense. So you have to tell me what I have to do in order for my life to be better. So that system worked in those times. We need to modernize it. So
right now, what system do you think we should use when it comes to belief system? Because you've already said that the Bible and Quran is... So what
trojan
belief
horses.
system do you think we should involve ourselves in right now? Right now.
In the first place, for those who understand, you should believe in yourself. There is nothing outside of you that is more powerful than anything inside yourself. You are everything you need, and you have always had everything you need. We need to start believing in ourselves.
Consciousness.
That's it.
Your last words, your advice to the youth and the public, anything you have for them. People are suffering.
Right.
Honestly.
Before I say my last words, maybe I'll get an invite again to talk about this, but consciousness today would just be translated to artificial intelligence. They are one and the same thing. So for those techies out there, please start developing artificial intelligences that work for the African continent. My last words, I want to thank you.
Let me add one for you to answer before you add your last words.
Okay, so we're going back and forth.
Those who are paying £10,000, £20,000, trying to go out there.
God,
what do you have to tell them?
I have a story for them. Can I squeeze it
go
in?
ahead and add your...
I'm going to squeeze in the story. There is a story about a man from Tema that dies and goes to heaven. Everything is white, everything is in order, everybody is worshipping God and everything. So he goes to God and he says, Eja, this place is boring. Oh. Can I go to hell and see what's going on? So he says, sure, yeah, go. That's the way. So he goes to hell. The devil opens the door, and when he goes in, he sees Bob Marley, Michael Jackson. He sees Signature, the pub, Tropicana.
Hey, Ashama guy.
It's nice enjoyment. It's like, hey, this is heaven. It's actually hell, but it feels like heaven.
The way you see it.
So then he goes back to heaven and he says, hey, Kondo, hell, pow, I want to go back there. So God says, oh, that's fine. You can go back. Go and live there. He says, but is everything okay? Like, God says, you can even go and live there. It's fine. You can take your stuff. So now when he goes this time, the devil asks him, so are you here for a visit? Or he says, no, I'm here to stay. So when he goes in, now he's in a lake of lava, brimstone, fire. And he's like, but is this the same place I came to the first time? And the devil tells him, don't mistake holidays for immigration.
That is huge.
That's it. So the youth out there, don't confuse holidays, the postcard, London, Paris, Milan, New York, Los Angeles. Don't confuse it for immigration. Because immigration is is hell over there. Passing the desert to go and live, not visit, live in the white man's world is hell on earth disguised as heaven. Yes.
Your last word, this is brutal.
I want to thank Maame Grace, the staff, the wonderful people behind the cameras for their hard work. I want to thank my wife, Abigail Mills, my daughter, Anais ACKAH. I also want to thank myself for being confident enough to come on the program. And big up Ashaiman, big up Tema, Committee 2, Elang.
Hey, open dangerous places, oh.
Big up to my family, and hope to see everyone again. And Captain Smart, I hope to have a word with you very soon.
Okay. Then yeah, now the Captain Smart, dear yeah. Abofra Bisale Papa. Debbie, no, too. Captain Smart, dear. The musician.
No, Captain Smart, the journalist.
Captain Smart. Oh, okay. So Papa no.
That's the one. I need to talk to him.
Yo, and you won't crash. Let's see. They need to talk to you. Thank you so much, brother, for coming. We appreciate you. Ebusia yemfa nembra life now there are two comment session one here the na ba na mo bisa no questions because me questions no answer the questions no answer at all enti no mo ma yemfa nembra life na yem bisa but the power is yours. We appreciate you. We appreciate your time. Thank you so much for watching. I'm always there.